This will be my first impression on Manjaro Deepin Linux. So I'll be showing you guys how to install the Deepin version of Manjaro, as well as try to configure some of the things that needed to be configured in Manjaro Deepin. So I'm also just this is just a simple configuration, such as changing of wallpapers, maybe install some applications via the terminal, and a little bit of feedback on my part if I were to use it for my daily task or not. Okay, so uh, let me just try to open my. Okay, so as you've noticed, I've already installed or already have downloaded the ISO, as well as already placed it on my uh, virtual box. Then what I'll be doing is I'm just going to turn on, I'm just going to unpause the installation so that at least we could proceed with the installation. Okay, so let's try to unpause. Then let's try to boot with open source drivers. Just press enter. So one of the main questions, by the way, that I found on the internet or while researching about the Deepin version on the internet is it safe? Uh, or is it also a spyware, just like the previous versions of Deepin or Deepin OS? No, it's very much safe. Um, and it's not a spyware. So what is the truth here? Deepin. Some people would often think that Deepin is trying to lure users, with its stunning look. It's kind of like trying to attract people uh, through and by making but through its attractive user interface. Or again, actually based on China, not to be racist or anything. Um, this is just a blown out. This is just a exaggerated claim. Actually, it's not a spyware. Based on my research. Okay, so it's not stealing any of our data. It's not logging on to our uh, searches or anything. But it's one of the most beautiful versions also of Manjaro. Very much similar to the Ubuntu-based Deepin. Okay, so we already have your friendly reminder. It has detected that you are using a virtual machine, which will affect the system performance and operation. So let's just try to select effect mode, and let's try to see if it's really going to affect our task in doing simple customizations. So we already have our login screen, our welcome screen, Manjaro Deepin. Okay, okay. We also have it here. Again, very much similar. If you're familiar with installing Manjaro, you will be able to have this welcome screen every time you try to install a new um, Manjaro. Okay, so let's try to launch the installer. Okay, so we will be asked again the language. So let's just say to select next, Asia Manila, then next. Okay, let's try to select for this one US default. Try to select next as well. So updates, we already have our prompt here. Package manager updates available. Okay, let's try to erase disk. No swap, manual partitioning. Okay, so since I'm being lazy, I'm just going to select erase disk, no swap. Then all I have to do is just click next. Okay, let's try to put our full name, df virtualbox. Let's try to add our password as well. Try to put here the different password. Okay, specify use the same password as for the administrator account. Let's going to click next. Okay, no office suites. Okay, so let's try to select now. Let's try to select this time free office. Now this is uh one of the things that I've noticed, by the way, with regards to Manjaro Deepin is that this time it asked us for an office suite. Unlike on previous versions of Linux that I've installed, it didn't ask for an office suite. So usually it comes with LibreOffice, or it doesn't come with any office at all. But this time for Manjaro Deepin, it has two options on what type of office you wanted to install. You can use either LibreOffice or FreeOffice. So since I wanted it to be near Microsoft Office, so I'm going to select free office. Okay, then click next. Okay, so everything is already set. So we have location, keyboard, partition. Okay, then let's try to run the installation this time. Install Manjaro installer is about to make changes in your disk to install Manjaro 21.1.2. Okay, let's try to click install now. So again, is Manjaro Deepin safe? It is safe, based on the articles that I've said that I've read. It's not a spyware. If you want good looks for Deepin without worrying about potential security and privacy issues, then you can use a Deepin desktop environment on top of your favorite Linux distribution. Okay, also very much the same as what you have in Ubuntu. Okay, so for Ubuntu, instead of using in my case, instead of actually using the Deepin version, which comes from China, again, I don't want to be racist or anything. I would rather use Ubuntu DDE. Okay, so uh, Ubuntu DDE actually is one of the most beautiful desktop environments that I have seen so far. Compared to Elementary OS, which I have previously reviewed, Ubuntu DDE comes with a lot of applications. It's prepackaged with with a lot of applications. So basically, all you have to do is you just need to install it. Then there's no need for you to install additional packages such as Office Suite and everything. Okay, not unless if you're a developer like me, wherein you still need to install your developer tools. But if you just wanted to use regular Office applications, then there's no need for you to install additional software. Okay, you can actually just use it out of the box. That's one of the beauty of Ubuntu DDE. Okay, at least that's how I see it. Also, with regards to its looks, Ubuntu DDE is quite beautiful. Now, I'm also going to do a review later on the difference between Ubuntu DDE version 20 and version 21. Okay, because there's a big difference between the two when it comes to its user interface as well as some of its navigation. Okay, but I haven't seen the one version lower for Manjaro Deepin. So currently I'm using Manjaro Deepin. I think this is version 21, which I have just downloaded a while ago, less than an hour ago, and I just wanted to try it out and install it. Okay. So all Manjaro dishes are completely customizable, so everything can be customizable. So I'm also going to show you, hopefully one of these days, how to customize it it by using by adding tiling with the managers and such as I3 and so on. Okay. Um, okay, so we set up 27%, unpacking 27%. So again, based on their website, Manjaro Deepin is not a spyware like the actual Deepin. So based on the description on their website, Jaro Deepin is actually an elegant, modern, elegant desktop. Let's try to see it later. Okay, we also have some of the applications here at the bottom. This is actually quite common in the Deepin desktop environment. This particular dock at the bottom. Okay, so currently I cannot click anything because maybe it's because it's still installing. Oh, okay. So we have it here. It's just a little bit sluggish when it comes to its responses. So we have here our live CD. So currently I'm running the live CD. So Manjaro Deepin. Okay, so you have your desktop. Actually, this is the first time I saw this particular types of icons in Manjaro. So okay, let me just try to look for what type. Um, so we have it here. Icon theme. So we have here uh, Manjar. The Deepin actually has its own set of icon themes. Okay. Let's try to configure it later. Let's try to play around with it later. Let's try to see what we can come up with. Uh, okay. Let's try to close. Try to check our installation. We still have 40% more. Okay, so we're finally done with the installation of Manjaro Deepin. Okay, so let's have it here. Click restart now. Let's try to put a check mark. Then let's click done. Okay, so currently we're booting. We're booting it for the very first time. So let's try to look also for its icon themes. Based on the website, it has icon themes for GNOME, Deepin, and Budgie. Desktop environment. So currently, since we're using Deepin, it has they called it spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Okay, okay. Let's try to look at it later. Kind of excited on how it will look. Okay, excuse me. Okay, it's still currently it's still running. The job is running for session one of user Manjaro. Okay. Okay, so it's going to boot up again. Oh, okay. So I actually forgot to remove the CD. Okay. You just try to remove the disk. Let's me just try to reset it again. Okay, let's just try to wait for it first. Okay, so we already have our login screen. So this is Manjaro 21.1.2. This is Manjaro Deepin. Let's try to log in first. Let's try to look at how it will. Try to check its look and feel inside. Let's just try to select effect mode. Okay, so we're already inside. Now, one of the things that I would normally do first is I'm going to right click on the desktop, then select display settings to change the resolution of my VirtualBox. Okay, I selected normal, so maybe that's the reason. Okay, so okay, I'm going to select display settings again. Oh, this is okay. Let's hit to close. Display. So we have your virtual 100 night shift. Okay, so we have your resolution at the bottom. Just under accounts, then we have the resolution. So again, I'm going to select 1440 by 900. Then it's already changed. Let's try to close the window. This okay. Let's try to save. Oh, okay, totally forgot. So this is actually a new way of doing things for me. So we have here 1440. Again, let's try to go back. Set to close. Okay, let me just try to do it again. Display settings. Again, we're under display resolution 1440 by 900. Then set to click save. Okay, so we're already saved. Fresh rate. Let's set to it. Let's set to close. Okay, so we're already inside our Manjaro desktop. Uh, One of the things that I've noticed first and foremost is that the taskbar at the bottom isn't curved. Okay, unlike in Ubuntu, the Ubuntu version is curved. Okay, this one has a sharp edge. Okay, so to select the items first. These are the different applications installed or pre-installed on our Deepin. Okay, okay, so we can also change. You can expand or you can shrink the application based on your own preference. Okay, so let's try to select wallpaper and screensaver. Okay, so we have the different wallpapers here installed. Um, this one is actually quite, this particular wallpaper is actually common when it comes to the Deepin version. I also use this one on my Ubuntu Deepin. Okay, let's try to check if it's possible for me to have it here. The navigation bar. I'm going to put it here on top. Status, location. You have here top. Okay, then decide to make it a little bit smaller also. Mode, efficient mode, fashion mode. Okay, so make it a little bit smaller. Okay, location, top, status, description, plugins, trash. Okay. Um. Okay. So to select also. Now also one of, okay, I've accidentally logged it off. Okay, so this is its log off screen. So start the system monitor. And then let's decide to press escape. Okay. So let's try to check the different applications installed. So if you're a terminal, try to make it settings, right click in settings, opacity. Wait, here I can also change the opacity. Although in my case, I don't like this particular type of terminal. Maybe let's try to install sudo pacman. Try to install tilix. Yes. Okay, sorry. Forgot to install. Let's try to run tilix. Actually, I don't like this particular type of terminal. Refreshing package git. Proceed with installation. Okay, so there's a lot of installation. Okay, so while it's still currently installing, let's try to explore other things. So we were able to change the background by right-clicking on the desktop, then changing wallpaper and screensaver. Let's try to do other things. Okay, so it's already installed. Let's try to run Telix. Maybe this is already Telix. Okay. I would rather use this one compared to this particular type of terminal, or compared to, I think this is let me just try to check what terminal. Uh, I actually don't know what type of terminal this is. So it's Deepin terminal. Actually, it's on particular version. So to exit. Okay, let's try to change also our icon set if I know how to do it. Okay, categories, or Mac. Try to select settings. Settings manager. Okay, don't want that. Uh, all categories, system, font manager, disk utility. I can't seem to find the control center. Let's select control center. Okay, so under control center, we have here the different customizations that we can do. So if your display, so I already did that. Default applications. This is where we can actually try to change the settings of our default application. So let's say, for example, for web page, its default application is Firefox. For mail, this is mail, text, text editor, music, VLC, and so on. Okay, let's try to personalize. Try to go to personalization. So we have here for themes. It only has 3 themes available. So we have its light, auto, and dark. So currently it's light. Let's try to select dark because I'm kind of like a dark guy. Okay, auto. Okay, so let's try to check auto. Okay, I'd rather use dark. You can also add accent color. Okay, so for its highlighted part, we change its color to gold. Maybe this we can make it green if you want to, or this particular shade of green. Okay, we can also change the transparency. Okay, window minimize scale. Okay, so we can actually also try to change the rounded window if we wanted to. So we can change its corners. Okay. Uh, so to go to icon theme. So we have here papyrus, papyrus light, papyrus dark. So bloom. I think this one is actually it's categorized into three. You have your autumn, winter, summer, and fall. Although it's currently installed on the one in in Deepin, it's installed Papyrus, Papyrus Dark, Papyrus Light C. Okay, let's try to select we have here Bloom. Try to select Papyrus. Okay, so it changed to Papyrus or maybe C. Okay, this one. We can also change its cursor, our cursor theme. So currently we have here Bloom. If you wanted to make it Bloom Dark, so bronze, um, red white. Okay, let's try to select this one, Bloom. So we can also try to change the font as well as its font size. So currently its default font size is 14. We can also we have here under network, notification, sound, change the volume, date, power, mouse speed, keyboard and language, system info. Uh, okay, this one. Okay, system info. So go back to system info. Okay, wait, let's just try to wait first. Let's try to close this one. So we're currently on the updates. Okay, categories, system, um, file manager. Let me just try to look for it first. Kind of lost it. So here, trash. You have your settings manager. So we don't want that. Let's try to go back to control center. Okay. So system info. I can't seem to access system info. Let's try to look for something else. Try to go to date and time. So currently the date and time here is in 24-hour version. So let's try to change it to 12-hour version. So we have here 9:31. Okay, power. So it's currently plugged in, so we don't need to change the power. Okay, so that's it basically for the settings. That's actually its control center. Now let's try to look also for the other applications found. Um, Paper documents. Currently, I don't think there's any documents available, but let's try to look for other applications. Try to look for okay, we have here internet. So let's try to see if what are the different applications installed on the internet. So we have here mail, SSH, server browser, Firefox Hex chat. Okay, for music, um, okay, we have here music. This is actually its music player. Although I haven't tested any of the music players in Linux. Okay, so categories for video, a movie, screen capture, voice notes, camera, receiver, and so on. So to go back, graphics, make sure, because it's just like draw, if it's possible for us. Okay, so if you're draw, to close other, decide to close other applications. Okay, so this is kind of like the equivalent of Paint in Windows before. Although I'm not very good when it comes to using Paint. Discard. Categories, graphics. Okay, decide to go to Office this time. So if your Office document text, free Office plan. So these are the different free Office applications that we have installed, or that comes along with Manjaro Deepin installation. Okay, so if your user interface. Oh, this is actually nice. So this is actually it's a pre-selected user interface. Let's try to select this one. Decide to click OK. This is for us. This is how to use, or this is its presentation. The equivalent for this one in Microsoft Office is of course PowerPoint. Okay. So say to close. As you can see, we already have our RTLegs installed. Others. Okay, we have here development. Designer, linguist, QD bus. Okay. System. These are the different applications for our system and others. HPUI scan. Okay. So say to run our terminal again. Open terminal. I'll just be using the default terminal. Let's try to install sudo pacman /s neofetch. If it's possible for us, install neofetch. Okay, so we have your Manjaro Linux, VirtualBox, host, kernel uptime resolution. We have here desktop environment is Deepin 20.2.2, Window Manager Quinn, theme Deepin Dark, icon. So we have here Deepin terminal. So by default, this is actually our Deepin terminal. Sudo, try to add this one. These are just some simple additions to our terminal. So sudo nano bash rc. Okay, let's try to run this neofetch. Try to press Control S, Control Q. Control X. Output has been suspended. Pressing OK. Try to open another terminal. Open terminal. Okay, so we have also installed. Let's close. Mr. Being lazy. We have already here. So this is actually our Manjaro Deepin. So this is one so far again one of those desktop which is aesthetically beautiful. Okay, so I think this one actually has the capacity to be at par with Windows 11, which currently is the latest version of Microsoft Windows. So, one of the good things about Linux, by the way, is that it can be customized based on the user's own preference, or if you don't want to use, if you don't want to customize um, Linux, you can actually use your own. You can just download and use some of the Linux available uh, available out there. So some of the most beautiful Linux actually is, of course, that I have reviewed. Of course, is the first one is Elementary OS, which I also have been using for, which have used by the way, and Ubuntu Deepin. I also try to use Ubuntu Deepin, which is also, I find it also quite beautiful as well. So it's easy to customize. There's no need for me to use a terminal. There's no need for me to install any other things. Use it out of the box. It's already beautiful as it is. Then also this one, Manjaro Deepin. So one of the good things about Manjaro Deepin that I find is that if you're just a regular user, is that it comes with Office application. So you can actually select two types of user. It comes with Office application. So you can actually select, or you will be asked to select two types of Office application, Free Office and LibreOffice, which is I think not found on any other Linux distribution out there. So am I going to use this one? Maybe in the future. As what I've said, I have tried using uh, Ubuntu Deepin, and I'm also very much uh, I'm very much okay if I were to go back to Ubuntu Deepin as my primary laptop operating system. So that's it actually, guys. Thank you very much. If you find this review as well as some of the tutorials on this channel useful, don't hesitate to click subscribe or like the uh, bell button. Thank you very much and good day.